And good day. This is the House of Girls, the League of Excellent and Extraordinary Negroes. Although I'm the only LXN member here today because I didn't invite them. I invited some special guests for today. I have some special people. I'm going to start with Austance Caroline to introduce herself first.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Austance Caroline. I don't know, fashion is my life, art is my life. I've been in the fashion industry for about 18 years. And I'm currently in New York doing retail management and then putting on art shows in the little bit of free time I have. But that's where my happy place is. It's just manipulating spaces, creating stories that haven't been told through, digital art and fashion. And that's what it is. And then I'm, Jade, and, we love... I love steampunk for a really long time, so I'm really, really honored to be here and talk about it. And yeah, that's it.
Great. Let's go to Celeste. I'm going in an order here to get back up to me.
I'm Celeste. I wear many hats. A creator, a maker, and have been designing ever since I was a little girl. Totally enamored with the manipulation of fabric and textiles and how it can be reshaped and reformed and repurposed for many different things. So I'm actually honored to be one of the guests tonight. And thank you, Jade, for having me to be a part of the steampunk conversation and the Tea Party. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Omaha, Nebraska native.
Great. And Demetria.
Hey, everybody. My name is Demetria Gerald, and I'm based out of Omaha, Nebraska. I always say that my background is fashion design, but my foreground is costume design. So, so I came up doing fashion design and found that costume design is probably my niche. I love the idea of designing something grand and elaborate and then moving on to the next thing. Currently working with the Inheritance Project. They're based out of New York. And working with the Kiewit Luminarium Museum here in Omaha and doing some commissioned pieces along the way. So thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you all for saying yes to all of my ideas and all of my things that I wanted to do. And I said, okay, well, we just have to talk about it online so that everybody has an understanding of what steampunk is and isn't, and make it accessible for everyone, because we want everybody to show up. I'll show it to the Steampunk Tea Party on June 18th. And I am encouraging everyone to come dressed for the occasion. Whether you choose to put on a costume or you have clothes that you are costuming in, you have to come dressed for the occasion, because there are a lot of special things that are going to be happening, and we want to show out, and we want to show what North Omaha can be in a grand way, and also to celebrate the history that is so often overlooked in the Victorian era. I've had people ask me, were we free in the Victorian era? Yes. Yes, we were. I had someone ask, were we doing anything in the Victorian era?
Everything.
I don't know when Black people haven't been.
It's just not celebrated.
It's just not celebrated. So that is the motivation for the Steampunk Tea Party. It's a gathering to enjoy us being together, being able to get out and be in person safely after, has it been 4 or 5 years that we've been in lockdown now?
Right.
But also to celebrate our history and our heritage in a different way. So that's the motivation behind the Steampunk Tea Party. Okay, so what is steampunk? Okay, that's the next question. Anybody want to take a stab at answering the question? And you can just say what it is to you, because it is so many different types of elements involved in steampunk. You can
Yeah.
just say what it is to you.
That's a really good question. Because it can be interpreted in so many ways, you know?
Hmm.
So, and there's so many different elements. Like, I went down the rabbit hole and I was like, oh, once you go down, you can't get, it's hard to get out.
Right.
So I guess for me, and I guess the most simple way, I think steampunk is an era that kind of celebrates, I don't know, like a transition of so many things. You know, women kind of doing, you know, manly jobs and like, you know,
Mhm.
going out there and being adventurers and, you know, going on voyages and, you know, and the aesthetic fits that. And then you also have like the beer maiden, you know, and then you also have like, you know, the bourgeoisie and, you know, they're wearing their bustles and, you know, all those things. So I think steampunk is just a culminate. It's an aesthetic for sure, in that era, but I think it's, everybody kind of was free to be their own thing, you know, which is kind of
Mhm.
cool. And they dress that way. And for some reason, I always feel like everybody kind of got their hands dirty. Like even if they're the bourgeoisie, they kind of wanted to hang with the cool kids and be in the
Right.
stars, you know, and like, or they kind of maybe, you know, fantasized about, oh, you know, I'm always at home and I have this beautiful house, but I want to go on an adventure, you know. So I think you see multiple elements in every style. And I said it would be a simple answer, but it's not. I think it's, embracing who you are and showing it in fashion, I guess, in the simplest way. But in this era, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I see steampunk as like it's like the elevated Victorian working class.
Mhm.
So this whole idea that yeah, it was kind of cool to be a little grungy,
Mm-hmm.
um, but in an elevated manner. There was the leather. I think when I think about steampunk too, I think about layers. I think
Mm-hmm.
about uh, putting on as much as you want, taking off as much as you want, lots of accessories, loading it on. Um, when I think about steampunk, I think about going to my toolbox. You know, like I'm
Right.
gonna dress out of my closet, but I'm gonna also dress out of my toolbox too. So
Mhm.
that whole industrial feel, that whole I think it was the first grunge. I think it was the
Mhm.
first grunge, but with an elevated sophistication.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me, when I think of steampunk, it's a way that we reach back and honor our ancestors and tell the story for them that they didn't get a chance to tell. But now we're telling it in a whimsical kind of way, in a funky kind of way. We're taking that industry or the hard gears and the metal and like Dimitri said, the grind, the elegance, all of that, just mixing it all together, which is liberating. It's a level of freedom. Um, it's definitely a level of freedom. Sometimes fashion can be very restrictive of what you can and can't do. But with steampunk, it gives you a layer of freedom to be as creative as you want to. So sometimes people think with fashion, it has to be this or that. But if I can say one thing, I'm like, let loose and have some fun with this. Let loose and be colorful and be creative. You know, just be willing to step outside the box. And there's something liberating about that.
And the question is open for everyone in the audience that is watching as well. And when we finish this broadcast, continue to answer the question and ask questions in the comment section. We do have a couple of comments already. Well, we have more than a couple of comments because somebody is talking a lot. Our family plays games. Mick, this is fantasy. And why were the league not invited? I don't know. I had other friends that I wanted to invite for the day. But Mick has been talking about his outfit since I announced that we were going to do this before it was even a thing. So Mick is ready. And Mick, if you want to give what your definition of steampunk is, please put that in the chat. We have Josh CSG. For me, steampunk is modern process or tech applied using mechanical equipment.
Mhm.
Okay, mechanical equipment I think is a requirement for steampunk. For me, steampunk is everything about the Victorian era, whether it's the dresses that the elite were wearing, that the wealthy people were wearing, or the maids and the cooks, or the people in the factories that are using new machinery. It's all of that, and including what people would wear for sport and for leisure and lingerie that is still like dresses today. Right. It's all of that mixed with fantasy. So that's where the science fiction comes in for me, that you can add just a couple of elements and that will make it steampunk. We reviewed a show, an animated series called Vox Machina on Monday, and it's an adult animation. Oh, my computer went away. So it's not for kids. But there's a character in there that is very steampunk. Now, every other character looks like they're from medieval times. This one he's got a long Victorian coat up with the big collar and the ascot and a gun. And it's a huge gun. And that one element and his leather glove makes that a steampunk outfit. So that's what steampunk is to me. It's marrying all of these things that are luscious or grimy and then mixing in the fantasy of you can have metal gears on your face or in your hair or a crystal on your hand because you have a hole in your hand and now you put a crystal in it, and just just anything that you can think of. Let's see. Mick says Victorian mechanical adventure. Because the adventure, now I know Asti, you mentioned the adventurer. I think about Indiana Jones. Oh my gosh.
Love Indiana Jones.
And everything about that is still Victorian.
100%.
Yeah.
Are there any other movies or television shows that
absolutely. I watched the Wild Wild West every night when I was a kid, and so even back then, because it was so long ago, the idea, of course, this whole idea of steampunk was pushed forward. It didn't have. I didn't know that it had a name, but it was that whole railroad card, and it was the whole industrialism, and it was the whole Artemis West with the guns and that whole Will Smith did the resurgence, but it was this entire look, and it was the mechanical spiders and the it was just a full fantasy of it was was one that I truly remember. Yeah, Wild Wild West.
I think they've said that is probably the first full steampunk movie.
Oh, okay. It was when I was coming up, it was a 30-minute show that came on every evening or every Sunday night or something.
Oh yeah.
Right.
See, I forget about since Will.
So before
the movie. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. It was a series. It was a series.
And did it have mechanical fantasy things in
it?
It
absolutely did.
Okay. Any other shows or movies?
There was that last one with she like shaved her head. What was it, Mad Max or something like that? And everybody was just like,
Yeah, that's a good
few
one.
years ago. Was that the name of it?
Was it Mad Max
And
with
Mad
Charlize
Max
Theron?
With Charlize Theron, right? You know what I'm talking about? She shaved her head, and
Mhm.
everybody was just covered in dirt the whole movie.
Mhm. Mhm.
It was very steampunk. Um,
There's there's another one that I think I mentioned in the deck. The Nevers. The Nevers is very much steampunk.
Mhm.
I know it aired last year. It wasn't very good, but the outfits were amazing.
right, right.
The clothes and the costumes were amazing.
What was it called, Jade?
The Nevers.
The Nevers.
But then there's been a few on HBO, not HBO, Netflix that have been playing with the same kinds of steampunk themes. So it may be becoming more popular again to
Right.
do steampunk
What was
in media.
what was it? Ah, really popular. What is the name of that? It's a series that's out right now with Smollett, Jesse Smollett's sister. What is the name of that? Lovecraft? Is it Lovecraft Country?
Oh yes, Lovecraft
Yeah,
Country.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There are definitely moments of
Hmm.
steampunk there also.
Yes.
Mhm.
That outfit that she wore when they took that trip, and she had the pants on,
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
and they got to play Indiana Jones for
Yes,
a minute.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. We had a couple of questions. The dude with the black mask. I think you're talking about Vox Machina. Um, Percy. No Mercy Percy. That is his name. And our family plays games. He's got to have gears. I'll get you some gears. Yeah. And greetings. Hello from South Africa.
Hey.
Thank you for
Yeah.
tuning in. That's awesome. Okay, so what are we gonna wear? Because you're all coming. So do the three of you know what you're going to wear? And then we'll give people ideas.
Heavy sigh. I don't know what I'm going to wear just yet. Maybe I'll wear my hat. But I am going to shop my closet first. I'm going to shop my closet, and I'm going to shop my toolbox. So I'm going to just kind of see what inspires me. That's going to be my starting point, and that's where I would encourage everybody: shop your closet first, and then shop your toolbox, and shop the Goodwill, upcycle, recycle. I want to do a little something, of course, steampunk, but with a little Afro-futuristic.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to find just the combination of the two. Yet. So I'm not definitely. I feel like steampunk is head to toe for sure.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's top to bottom, because as I looked through some of the slides, I was just like, this whole look is a top to bottom look. So I am, still in the midst of putting it together, but I'm excited.
I think with mine, I'm gathering fabrics at this time because I have a beautiful selection of vintage fabrics, and so I've been staging a lot of those and kind of seeing how I like different patterns. It's going to be a mixture. It won't be a solid. It will definitely be a mixture of patterns and colors, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to pull it all together yet, but it will definitely be colorful. And I'm pulling that from a mixture of the Jingle Jangles. I love the costumes in that.
Okay, I'm going to hit this slide. I don't know exactly what it says because I can't see it, but let's see if I'm right.
Oh, that was good. Jingle Jangle, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so great.
Yeah, they had so much colors going on there, so many colors, and it was so vibrant, and I love the element of that. So that's kind of like my inspiration for putting my costume together.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So there's so many things about steampunk that I love. So I'm like, ooh, let me get it together because I might just come as dressed as a closet and it just is a closet. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
I love it, Aussie.
Thank you. Love you too. So my thing is this: I have to have a top hat. I wear them with hoodies all the time. I feel like hats, accessories.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking because I love birds. So I see in my future, right? Because I think I'm just gonna make it. I love to play make believe. I never let that part of my childhood leave.
Yes.
I think as like creatives, you always have that child inside that helps you do all these things that maybe you wouldn't do as an adult because we're constantly filtering everything.
Yes.
We're thinking like, is this going to sell? You know, there's so many things as an artist that you go through. So I'm going to go and talk to my child self. And like, if I was in the steampunk era, who would I want to be? I'm so excited. I would definitely have a top hat. I want a bird perched somewhere. It might be on my shoulder. Okay. You know, Michael's Amazon, Michael's, there's so many things. So I'm going to dig in my, as a creative, I find stuff all the time. I'm going to dig. I'm going to find, I think I want a bird. I want a top hat. Do I want to bustle? I don't know. I think I'm going Victorian, but I still want to be like adventurous. So I definitely want like an embellished top hat. I want to embellish maybe glasses, and then like maybe it'll change throughout the day. Like maybe I'll have a jacket or a cloak, and then take it off because it's gonna be warm. We gotta have options.
Yes,
So,
I got some fabric here with some birds on it.
Oh,
If you
some birds! Oh, look at a little blue jay!
let me see if I can get.
that is beautiful.
How did she find that so quick? She was like, "What?" No, I love that.
I'll save this piece for you.
Oh my God, stop. Oh my God, I'll make them in a heartbeat.
Do you want me to mail it to you or you want to wait till you come in town?
Oh my gosh.
Let me mail it to you.
We need to connect.
It's not going to cost that much to mail it. When you get through, just make sure I have your information.
Oh, so sweet of
This
you.
is how community works. This
And
is how
it's laying
community
right in hands reaching. When you said birds, I'm like,
That's
Mhm.
right there. You
like
see
like
it?
Mix said he needed some gears. I got you some gears.
No.
Aussie
is gonna
said
be
she
so
wanted some
fun.
birds. Celeste, I got you.
I got you.
Thank you.
And I'll be looking for some more of the bird stuff as I shop around too.
Oh my
So
God, yeah, we gotta connect, and we maybe can have a group chat and we can like share what we find.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I
And-
answered your question, Jay, because I'm I don't know.
Well, you bring up a good point about different outfits because at the Steampunk Tea Party, we will have at least 3 photographers and we will have different staging areas for you to have your portrait taken. So this is a major part of the event and one of the reasons why I want everybody to come outfitted because you're going to have your portrait taken and we're going to support each other in getting whatever we need for portraits, but we want to photograph everyone in excellence. If we are honoring our forefathers and foremothers and remembering a Victorian era that's always overlooked, this is how we're going to celebrate them. And I want everyone to remember this occasion, not just come and go home and, oh, that was fun. No,
Right.
we have to mark it. So maybe you do have a couple changes.
Okay.
I have to. I know I have to.
We can make a room. We can make a room if you need to change. I can build that into the plan. So that's an option. I think I have 3 skirts now.
Ooh.
Wait, did you buy a corset or was it a skirt you bought? And what was the name of that thing you got? I forgot the name already.
Oh, a chatelaine.
Oh yeah.
So I got my chatelaine. So yeah, I'm gonna wear that. And I actually needed it today. I was making some t-shirts and I was like, I wish I had it. So I had my.
Do you have a picture of it, Jay?
You said
Yeah,
what?
do
you have a picture so people can see what it is? A chatelaine?
Yeah, I can grab it. It's like over there, but I can grab it in a second when somebody is talking or when Austie is showing her slides. I am going to do Victorian, mostly Victorian, with some steampunk elements. I love cyborgs. I don't know why.
Wow.
And I love elements on my head and in my hair.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be the steampunk element. And
Love,
however we get that done, that's what it's going to be. But
love
I think there will be a bustle.
that. Okay.
I'm not committing to the corset, although I do have one that would
All
go
right.
with the outfit. I'm not committing to that. I'm everything else. Yeah, I don't want to be
You just want to be
confined
working
that
your
way.
own event. You don't want to be like too constricted, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe I have to have another outfit.
I think you should.
Yes.
Agreed.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I really want a hat, although I don't think it's going to go on my head, but I
But you
really
can
do
always
want a
take it
hat.
off, put a pin
Right,
in.
right.
Mhm.
So, okay, at this point, Asti, you have some ideas.
Yeah.
Would you like to
sure.
share your ideas now?
Always. I'm gonna breeze through it though, because I know we don't
Okay.
have a lot of time. But
Okay.
I think one thing that we all talked about and have in common, I think most people in general, we love accessories, right? Hats, trinkets, little necklaces, gloves. I mean, really all you need is an accessory to change an entire outfit. So when
Absolutely.
Dave's like, hey, maybe you have an outfit change, you don't necessarily have to change head to toe. You can take off a jacket, add a pin, add a hat, take off a hat, add a hair pin or a hair comb, Um, and I loved what they were saying earlier too about going back into your closet, because most of the things that you can do are like in your closet. But I really just wanted to talk about really affordable ways to make steampunk accessories, and actually like they're really at your fingertips. So steampunk accessories DIY. Literally, the things I'm going to show you, like we're going to talk about hats and hairpins, and then there's other accessories like how you can accessorize like a lighter or a bow tie and things like that to change up a whole look. Everything's like honestly like $30. $30 or under, you could make these things. You just need $30 in 30 minutes. The rule of 30 for this one. So, right, we're trying to be frugal here. All right, let's see. So the agenda, we're going to talk about hair, hat and hair accessories, inspiration and how-tos. I love the photo of this girl because she is killing it. I know there's going to be kids here, and she's giving the Afrofuturism you guys were talking about as well. So she's giving futuristic. She has like this arm cuff, but then she has the steampunk goggles. I mean, so fire. Like you can pretty much make it your own. Like I don't want to say there's rules to steampunk because we are celebrating an era, but don't be afraid to, make it your own too. So we're going to talk about top hats and captain hats. So you see a lot of these, like if you Google steampunk, these things come up first and foremost. So you have like the top hat with like a pocket watch, another top hat here. You have the captain hat in the bottom left, and they all have goggles. They have little gears and stuff like that. At first glance, this looks like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I can't make this myself. I'm already stressed. And it's really not that serious, right? So it's like all you have to do is just have a little bit of time and some super glue, and you can totally and you can do this. And I'm sure these ladies can attest to the fact that like E6000 is like the best super glue on the planet. So for DIY, all you're gonna need is a top hat. I'm gonna show you. You can just go on Amazon, type in top hat. It can be costume. You don't have to invest in like a beaver skin top hat that's $300. No, we're having fun. You can find a top hat that you can bring out for Halloween or New Year's again for like $15. That's really cool. So that you can order gold clock gears and cogs on Amazon too for like $6, and you get like 100 of them, and you can get little skeleton keys that come with them as well. You can find pocket watches on there, super affordable, feathers, anything else. I was even gonna say like, I don't know, you can add, I don't know, like a Saks Fifth Avenue receipt. I don't know, you can have fun with it. You can have these fun elements of steampunk and then add things that are maybe true to you. Like if you're a painter, why not add a paintbrush in there? Like you're talking about going in your toolbox. All those things, you can have fun to kind of make it one of a kind. So I just said pointers. You can search for top hats on Amazon and search for gears and cogs. And I'm going to show you what that looks like, that search on Amazon. All these things come up. It might be a little small on the screen, but the gears and cogs for like 100 pieces along with like skeleton keys is like $8, right? Pocket watch, $11. You could also go to a thrift store and probably find it for like $2 at Goodwill. You know, like people don't care about this stuff anymore. And then top hats that are like $11. So still affordable, right? So
Right.
easy. And then all you have to do is take these little elements, turn on Netflix or something, and take your super glue and glue those little gears and cogs and kind of maybe have an inspiration photo. You know, there's so many that Jada's provided, and kind of make it your own. So super fun, super easy. You can make it as embellished or elaborate as you want, or you can make it a little more classic. That's why I have like back of this photo, like this one just has a pocket watch and then a leather strap. You know, it can be that, or it can be crazy. Either way. The next thing I want to talk about are my favorite fascinators and hair accessories. So, you know, fascinators were, you know, made popular in England, and it's still a huge tradition there. But these are just some inspiration shots I found. There's like a little top hat on a headband. There's like a little hair comb with those same elements, those like little gears and cogs on there, so you can make it really sleek and sophisticated if you want. There's another one. I see like those little cards. And she seems like she's probably like one of a guy's girl, you know, and she probably plays poker with everybody and has a good time. I love that. And then you have something that's a little bit more mysterious, maybe a little more dark, with like this raven or this crow in her, in like, you know, branches that you could go to the park and find. You could go to Michael's and find. Super easy, super fun. And then again, the sophisticated on the right hand side, you could just have feathers with a few of like those little cogs and wheels that are easy again to find on Amazon. Or a little bit more embellished with like maybe some chains. And so yeah, same thing. You need that super glue. You need that super glue. And it actually does really last a long time. You just need it to kind of stay overnight, and it'll stay for a lifetime. But you just have to shop for Fascinator Base on Amazon, or mini top hat headband or headband. It's super easy. And you want to look for, these are the Fascinator bases. If you kind of want that kind of like English or like Victorian look, and add those pieces, that's what that looks like. And then you can find like a little top hat headband. Literally just pull those from Amazon. And this is what my Amazon search looked like. So again, you guys probably can't see it, but the Fascinator bases are like $9. You can buy a bunch, like maybe if you want to make it a project with your friends and you guys want to make them together, you could buy a pack of 10 for like $20, you know? And then there's also, I literally, like these little hair combs, it's just called a side comb. I did this for my wedding. I literally got a side comb and I like attached like dried flowers to it. You just literally adhere it with the super glue. It's so easy and so affordable. These combs, you get like a pack of, I don't know, 15 for $10. So super doable. And then this is just the last slide, you know, additional accessory things that you could do. You could take a bow tie, you know, you don't have to tie it. It could be one that's already attached, and add the cogs and the little clock pieces. You could, you know, look up, maybe you have gloves, you just cut the fingers off if you want it to be like a little bit more edgy, like a motorcycle style, and add little nuts and bolts. I'm sure everybody has extra nuts and bolts in their toolbox, like they were saying, that you can add. And if you're, you know, if you have basic hand sewing skills, you can hand sew these pieces if you want it to be maybe a little bit more sturdy. But if you don't have time, super glue is fine. And then I thought it was really cool. I found this a photo of a lighter with all these little cool cog pieces. So I mean, you know, the options are endless. I was even saying, if you want to put it on a tote, if you have a handbag you want to rework, you can take all these elements. As long as you have a base, you can just sew or super glue onto things and totally change something basic if it's something that looks like it took you so long to make. And that's it. I don't know if the ladies have anything to add, or if they agree or disagree, or
Totally agree.
Oh, yes, those are amazing ideas. And
hey.
Like, who knew you could pull together everything you need? Looks like it's on Amazon.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, I in the world of there's no new silhouette under the sun, right? Everything is all been made, and now there's just all these different
Right.
variations of the same thing, right? So, so one of my suggestions would be to go to the Goodwill, and especially this is the right time because there's dresses, prom dresses, evening gowns. If you don't want the entire gown, then you just cut the corset out. Many times there's boning, it's already put together, all of the structure is on top. And if you don't want the bottom portion, you just want to have a corset, you can cut away that whole entire skirt. Grit dye will run you $2 at the at Walmart. And so if the gown is green that you got from the Walmart and you want it to be black, then a bottle of grit dye can make that happen. And then if you want to keep the skirt, then you can cinch the skirt up on the side and bustle it on the side with some safety pins. For the gentlemen, all day long at the Goodwill, suits, skinny slacks, jeans. There's just everything you need. Like I said, the silhouette has already been done, and all you have to do is modify it so that it fits you. And I love what Austance was saying about making it personal for you. So if you're into the whole watch thing, then load up on the watches. You can go to the Goodwill and look in the watch case and get them for probably a bag of them. I saw a bag of watches the other day for $9.99. It was a bag of big. But you can get your E6000 and just glue them everywhere. Your imagination is your only limitation. So.
Yeah, I was going to say for the guys, if they kind of want that Wild Wild West jacket that Artemis wore or Will Smith wore, they could actually get one of the men's blazer coats from the thrift store and take it and crop it off and have it kind of just taper in a little bit at the waist. Have a cummerbund made to put around the top of their pants with the white shirt, put all the gears and stuff on that. So that's easy to do that design as well. There's so many just kind of like ways to repurpose what's already out there so it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, chain. You can go into the hardware store or probably in your toolbox and just chain link. You can put it around the ankle of your boot. You can just load it on with safety pins. I saw something pretty cool the other day, and it was just links and links of safety pins. And there's just so many things that you can do to elevate your look.
The one thing that I'm definitely going to do is I'm having a cane.
Nice.
Love.
I'm going to have a cane. We were talking about menswear. Men can get away with just about anything.
Yeah.
And also I was going to add, so hold on. So this is the Steampunk Tea Party hosted by the House of Afros, Capes and Curls. So use that African fabric that somebody brought you back from Ghana that you never use and you only have a little bit of it. Do something with it.
Look at all of our influence. Look at it.
Oh my gosh.
I love that in the back. I love all those bustles in the back.
I know.
Yeah, you can bustle with one layer of fabric and then bustle with the next layer of fabric and just really build up that bustle in the back without even having to make a skirt. Like you can just adding that fabric to the back and like literally do it with safety pins or just some basic hand stitching.
So what is the bustle? For people that may not know, what is a bustle? Let me find a good picture.
The best part.
The previous picture that you just had there. The bustle is that illusion of grandeur.
That is when they first started to emulate us.
Right.
From the behind. Now it's like injections, but this is what they were doing then to emulate the women who were well endowed in the back.
Yeah, and for Victorian women who were not, for European women who were not, there was a structure underneath. There was a whole apparatus under a hoop skirt and a whole apparatus underneath to give that illusion.
Yep.
So.
Well, and I've seen the hoop skirt or the hoop bustle
Mhm.
and the bustle pillow,
Yeah, I
because there
love the
is a
little pillow.
period where they
Yep.
got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
Right, right.
But to just bustle a
Interesting.
skirt without all of that would be just to gather that skirt starting from the bottom and cinch it all the way up to the top and then
Mhm.
tack it into place so that you have that illusion, you have that fullness.
Okay, so any other questions from the audience or anything else that you all want to share about ideas? Etsy also has a lot of
So much.
gears and keys and antique stores. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, and hit up the
there's a lot
antique
out
stores
there.
because they have a lot of those old petticoats and
Yeah.
petaloons and all that type of stuff. Hit up your vintage shops and antique shops. And a lot of it's dirt cheap because most of the time people don't wear it unless they're looking for it for some type of theatrical
Right.
pieces to add. So
Yes. And I would say now is the time to go to grandma's jewelry box and
yes,
get all the brooches, get all the clip-on earrings, and just load them down.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed print, the idea of cutting the fingers out of your leather gloves, or go to the Goodwill, get a pair of leather gloves, or all the leather gloves are on clearance now at Walmart, wherever. But you
Right.
cut the fingers out and you've got yourself a whole look. I was thinking, in terms of a costume, if you can just start with 3 things, like start with 3 things, and there's no formula to it. So if one was a glove and the other one was a hat and then the other was a cummerbund. But if you start with 3 things and then start building off of those 3 things, then you can definitely get yourself a look out of that. The fur accents around the neck, like a fur collar, that would be the time to go grab that. It's sitting in the closet, and many times it would be a coat, maybe with a fur collar that buttons on and buttons off, and you're just going to borrow that little fur collar, or you're just going to go and get a piece of faux fur. You can use that for a neck piece. Again, layers. I wanted to say one thing about corsets. A corset doesn't necessarily have to be that whole structured piece with a string.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually take fabric and just wrap yourself until your waist is cinched to where you want it to be. You can wrap the bust until you get that corseted look. So you could have on a print here, and then corset with a pump. So, yeah, there's just so many DIY ideas to affect the look.
Now, I have to show a couple creative soul photography
yeah,
photos.
I love them.
So if you've seen any of these
Yeah.
on Facebook or TikTok or wherever,
Mhm.
what they did in this particular series with these young girls, this is
So cute.
steampunk heaven.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Jackpot. Love that.
And Celeste told me to bring it out. Macy grabbed it for me. This is so this is the top of the chatelaine. The chatelaine is French for the keys of the mistress. And it has chains.
Okay.
And so the idea is you wear it on your waist, and from each chain, there's a tool or an accessory that a woman would use. I became fascinated with them because of an historical reenactor that I follow, and she reenacts enslaved women's lives, and enslaved women were wearing these and having all of the tools and keys and accessories, pens, scissors, anything that they might need, sewing kits, anything that they would need throughout the day. They wore it on the top of their, like tucked into their waist, so the top of their skirt. It just pins on. So that's one of the pieces that I'm using. That and my top were the pieces that I used as the inspiration for my outfit, which led me down a path.
Jade, are you collecting the tools, or are they already on the chatelaine?
I'm collecting the tools.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking for that you don't have that we can kind of keep an eye out?
Yeah,
Well,
true.
the only thing I have right now is the magnifying glass.
Mhm.
I love that. I
So I
love
have that, which I have used. I'm thinking of putting a pocket watch on,
Mm.
um, or even one of my digital watches. And this is what the reenactor did. She took her Apple Watch, took the band
Oh,
off,
wow.
replaced it with ribbon, and then and put it on her chatelaine.
Love that.
Great.
Um,
Elegant.
Scissors. That I'm gonna add that, definitely
Like
some
little
scissors to my
nice.
chatelaine. But yeah,
I
let's
have
see
a
if we.
question.
What's your
Is there
question?
anything? Because I'm always like, okay, so there is like definite inspiration, right? Is there anything off limits? For instance, like they didn't have ball caps in this era, right? But is it a yes or a no? Could somebody take a ball cap and like decorate it with gears and stuff? Let's say, it's the dad, he doesn't have time. Is that taboo or is that reimagining? What do we think? Like if it's like a bucket hat or a ball cap or something more modern day, like everybody has it in their closet.
I don't think that that's off limits. I mean, if we're talking about Afrofuturism, we have to start with where we are.
True.
So
Okay.
if
Yes.
you
Okay.
know, if that's what you have,
Right.
start there. Maybe spray
love
paint
it.
it gold.
I know, right? But I was like,
I
when you
love
think
it.
of Victorian era, you don't think of a ball cap. So like, could that look futuristic if it's done the right way? I don't know. I'm just trying to, yeah,
I
have
think
fun
so,
with the.
yeah.
I think so. I like it. I like that idea.
Did you all see the new collection? I don't know if it's controversial or not. I have a few things that I have said about the new Ralph Lauren collection with
Clifton
the
just told me about
HBCU.
it. He just told me about it, and I had the same reaction as Celeste just now. And I was like, no, and I'm like, wait, let me get all the information and look at it. What is the vibe? What is the? Because I went to an HBCU, so
I'm looking now. I shouldn't give a side eye before, but I'm so up to here with what we know to be fashion in these fashion houses.
yeah.
I'm so done. Like okay, I'm gonna stay cool. Because when you can't come up with anything else, now you're just borrowing with the capital B. No, it's just a takeover. But let me go on over here and look at it before I make a full comment.
Because what they said
My
was,
thing is, I would have liked to have seen them. I'm always for the underdog, and I would have liked to have seen them maybe talent search for one of us to create that instead of Lauren. I would have liked. That's just me. I would have liked to see some of these young and upcoming designers do that because I know they can.
well, and then that goes into some of the reason why I'm questioning, only because some of the clothing in that collection I looked at and I was like, oh, somebody could definitely wear that shirt and bow tie and waistcoat. I mean, that's definitely, you can steampunk that up. But then on the other side of it, it's Ralph Lauren working with HBCUs, and some of the Black designers in Ralph Lauren, I guess, have done this, but it's a collection based off of HBU style.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what the women in Spelman and the men at Morehouse have been wearing.
Yes. When I seen it, I'm like, this is their style anyway, from even the earliest periods of when they were wearing that,
To look at it.
I think if the partnership is solid and legitimate, and it's being promoted in a way that credit is being given where it is due. Because I just took a quick look. If the partnerships are there, then I'm all right. But so my biggest thing is you got to give credit where credit is due. You got to bring in designers, like Celeste was saying, that are given opportunity. And you cannot, you better not, you cannot own it. You can't say that it's, you know, some grand idea that we just came up with as, you know, the House of Loren. So I just.
Right. Because it's based off of HBCU style. But
can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
I just saw one picture and it was really beautiful. You know, working in fashion and, you know, being a part of it. And this is like our lifestyle, right? We eat it, we breathe it, we think it. Like, we just have fabric laying around with birds on it. Happenstance. Like, this is what we do, right? Love that. The value of the Black dollar is huge. And these companies, like, if Dior didn't have, you know, it's so much deeper, and you know, he's gonna get that Black dollar, let's be honest. And I've seen the power of, like, you know, when companies change that trajectory and they kind of go for that target market, they're blowing. I mean, they were making money during the pandemic off us, you know what I'm saying? So I think Ralph Lauren, he is one of the top, you know, American designers. He started off, you know, making ties. I respect his hustle, I get it, but part of me, I can't help but think, like, are you just trying to get that money? Like, you know what I mean, from us? Because our dollar is really valuable, and I think these big luxury companies are seeing it. And so it's beautiful. We're going to buy it. And I think, you know, with the climate of the world right now, I think, you know, people that aren't Black are going to buy it as well to support. So I think they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? But I don't want to make it seem negative. It's not that. I've just seen it.
That's just, yeah.
I've seen it. Now, so when you come to the Steampunk Tea Party, conversations like this is what we'll be having. Okay, so I'll give you a chance to say anything else, last words, but I do want to show.
I love that.
Some of the men and the women that we are going to be celebrating. And were we doing things? We were absolutely doing things.
Absolutely.
Did we have things?
I think our ancestors will be honored that we're doing this. I think that they will be. Yeah. This is like a head nod to them, saying that yes, we saw you then, and we recognize you, and we celebrate you.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, just historically, that the whole Victorian look in terms of fashion and how it evolved. There was definitely movement back and forth to Ethiopia, and Ethiopia was already industrialized before any the European countries were. So where there's that movement back and forth, there's going to be influence. So that means that whoever was coming from Europe going over to Ethiopia was bringing back something for their wives, something for their daughters, something for their nieces, something for their nephews. And a lot of that was fashion influence.
And a lot of the fabric as well. When they traveled like that, one of the things that their wives wanted was for their husbands to bring back these boats and boats of all the beautiful fabric that they collected.
Absolutely.
And that's how come their dresses were so elegant and why they stood out, because they were getting these rare fabrics from when they did their steamboat travels.
Right.
As they were raiding those pyramids in Egypt.
Absolutely. And everything else.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to say one thing. Last thing.
Yes.
I just want to say I'm really excited to be a part of something that I don't think has been done before. I've never, when you said I want to do a steampunk tea party, I was like, huh? What? I know what it means, but together, like, same thing. And it makes so much sense. And I'm really excited to be a part of it and to see it and other people enjoy it. Because I honestly don't think it's been done before. And I think that's really, it could be scary and you're making it something so beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm not sure if it's been done before or not. I don't know if we have done it.
Right.
But, you know, we can do anything that we want to do. And there's nothing that is not for us.
Yes.
Okay.
On that note, you can say where people can find you if you want people to find you. I'll start with Austie.
Yeah, I haven't posted on Instagram in like 2 years. I know it's really bad, but if you DM me, I answer like a text message. It's just Austance Caroline, and I have on a top hat with a hoodie because yes,
I love
I would love to meet and converse with anybody. I would love that.
Great. And Celeste?
Instagram under the Quilterpreneur, and my website is celestebutlerart.com.
And Demetria?
Yes, please look for me on Instagram at So It Forward Movement. That's SOW. So It Forward Movement. And yeah, DM me. And yeah, I'd love to make some connections.
Thank you all so much for coming out this evening and joining in this wonderful conversation. We will be having some workshops. So if you are in Omaha or you can get to Omaha, we will be announcing the dates for workshops with Demetria and Celeste. I don't know if we can get Austie out for a couple of days.
Of course we can.
We're kind of busy, but we'll work on that. But we will have workshops to support each other, and even just idea sessions. If you want to bring things, we're going to have at least one of those. If you just have an idea about something, think stuff in your closet and you're not sure how you want to put it together, we're going to make space for that too. And those dates will be announced and the location will be announced. And again, the Steampunk Tea Party is on June 18th of this year. So you have some time to get ready. And it will be at NOMA, which is the former Love's Jazz and Art Center on 24th Street here in Omaha, Nebraska. Thank you so much. I didn't invite the League. I'm so sorry, but I know that some of them are watching and they are loving this collection of beautiful women who are textile artists. Thank you all for giving us your time and your expertise. You can follow the House of Afros, Capes, and Curls at afroscapescurls.com and all the other social media stuff. And thank you. Have a good night.